Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club, Kenworth Trucks Australia, Pace Farm Eggs, and Dasmac, shipping your classic car from the world to your doorstep.
G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome as I proudly bring you to Pennsylvania in the United States of America to bring you some of the Carlisle Chrysler Nationals for 2025 in this week's Classic Restos. The Carlisle Chrysler Nationals is spread across 4 huge days, from the setup day on Thursday through until around 12 noon close on Sunday.
It's an absolute privilege to bring you some of the largest Mopar event in the world, the Carlisle Chrysler Nationals for 2025. Up front, close and personal, there's almost 3,000 vehicles from all eras of the Chrysler brand. You will see some classic, muscle cars, high-performance new models, along with parts, one of the largest automotive flea markets, and the people, from the die-hard supporters that walk through the gates through to the legends that help showcase this event, making it the paramount Mopar lovers' paradise that it is.
And because the entrants and the spectators just can't wait, things start kicking off right here with a meet and greet. It's Thursday afternoon around 4 o'clock. It's across the street from the fairgrounds at the Carlisle Expo Centre. It's big every year and it's hosted by the Mopar Rebellion. There's no judging here at this bit this afternoon. It's just about having some fun and enjoying around 400 cars. I guess you could say that it's the chrome-plated starter leading up to the main. It's Friday, day 2, and this year is about celebrating 100 years of the Chrysler Corporation.
And to mark this incredible automotive manufacturing milestone, joining us this year is Mr. Frank Rhodes, the great-grandson of Walter P. Chrysler. The Walter P. Chrysler Club is bringing us this once-in-a-lifetime celebration of the company. This celebration will include everything under the Chrysler Corporation over the last 100 years, with an emphasis on the early history of the company, going beyond the cars, military vehicles, and other items produced by Chrysler over the years is displayed. The Chrysler 100 will be more than just a display this year. It's a main theme of the event. Well, it's early on Friday morning here at the Expo Centre at Carlisle, and before the crowd's about to pour into this incredible 100-year Chrysler display, I'm honoured to have this gentleman with me here now, Mr. Frank Rhodes, the great-grandson of Walter P. Chrysler. Good morning, Frank.
Fletch, how are you today?
Wonderfully well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. This is a great show. This could turn out to be one of the largest Chrysler events in history at Chrysler. There's so many cars coming and people, and it's just growing every minute.
Frank, how does it make you feel to be the great-grandson of the great man himself, Mr. Walter P. Chrysler, here at the 100 years of Chrysler at Carlisle, here in the Expo Centre with this incredible timeline?
You know, this is not about me. I'm just the messenger. This is about the Chrysler family. We are all one as far as I'm concerned. We're in a big tent, and everyone's excited, and we're looking forward to seeing what Chrysler is going to produce in the future.
And as history has it, your great-grandfather was of the similar mind, wasn't he? And I know the Airflow car meant a lot to him.
Yes, it did. It was a very important product.
So the car behind us, what can you tell us about this one, Frank?
Well, this is a 1924 Chrysler. This is the prototype, the first one that was made before Chrysler started. And in 1924, the cars came out, and Chrysler could not go in the New York Auto Show because it wasn't a volume car production at the time. So what he did was he rented out the Commodore Hotel, and a lot of the executives were staying there, and everyone came through and they saw his new car. And one of the best parts about it was he got the bankers to sit in the car with him, and he made a lot of deals right there, and that the car just took off. It sold 32,000 models that year, the first year, and then Chrysler Corporation was formed in 1925.
He was incredibly innovative, wasn't he?
Oh yes, well, the thing about Chrysler that was really important is he was an engineer. He grew up in engineering, and he was a marketing man. A lot of these other guys, not a lot, but some of the other auto manufacturers at the time, they were marketing guys, but they didn't know the engineering, and Chrysler knew everything about engineering. That was the main facet of Chrysler Corporation.
I think too that's what made Chrysler so different in the big three, was the team of engineers. They were renowned for their engineering skills, weren't they?
Yes, you had Zeter, Skelton, and Breer. Fred Zeter, Owen Skelton, and Carl Breer were the main engineers. And then you had another gentleman named Toby Couture, who was really close to Chrysler, and he gave him a lot of advice on these cars.
Now, not typical of most interviews, I'm going to touch on the personal side. So, you've never actually worked for Chrysler. So, what has been your profession in the meantime?
Well, I build furniture, 18th century American furniture reproductions. I do upholstery work. But one thing I want to say is that I love working with my hands, which my great-grandfather did. And when my grandmother passed away in 1979, Chrysler was on the verge of bankruptcy. And I remember her telling me one night, about 2 months before she died, she says, "Frankie, do what you can to keep the engine running." And that's what I've done ever since. And I go up to Chrysler, and it's what I really care about. And look where we have today. Yeah. Chrysler came very close to not becoming Chrysler Corporation. And the reason being is, in 1923, Zeter, Skelton, and Breer had a plan for Walter Chrysler. They had a car. They had it designed. And Toby Couture said it was wonderful. The only thing he wanted was hydraulic brakes. Well, sometime during the summer, Chrysler organized a whole bunch of executives to come in, and no one knew who they were. They came in the night, and they were at the Chalmers plant, and they drove these prototypes around the plant. And the next day, Fred Zeter came in and said, "Who are these guys that were here?" And Chrysler, Toby Couture said, "Oh, they were just executives. I don't know who they were." Well, then just as he was saying that, Chrysler came in, and he said, "Boys, I got a proposition for you. Studebaker just came in, and they want to buy you out, and you'll have so much money you won't know what to do with it." And Fred Zeter said, "No way, I'm not doing it." So the next day, Chrysler came in with all the main executives, and they were standing there, and Fred Zeter said, "If you sign these papers, we're going to tear up all the plans and everything. I'm not doing it." And that's why, if you look at the original badge here, it has Z's right on the left and the right side of Chrysler, because Zeter's the one that saved the company. It could have gone down the tubes real fast. Could have been Studebaker.
Frank, I just want to thank you for your time. This is a man in demand this weekend, as you can appreciate, and he's put time aside for the interview here this morning. Frank, it means the world that we caught up and had this interview, and it's quite surreal, shaking hands with the man.
Well, you're the man. I consider everyone's equal. We're all in this together. We're the Chrysler family. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. It's not me. Yeah. It's everyone that's here.
You're the closest thing we've got to the great man, Walter P. Chrysler.
Well, I'm going to keep pushing. I want to make sure that the cars are produced and they stay in business. So.
And on the behalf as well, thank you very much for your attendance here at Carlisle this year as well, Frank.
Thank you, Fletch. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannons laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannons understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Get a quote online or call 13 46 46. Shannons Insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
Shannons shares our passion. If you have a classic or two, why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And the Shannons Club awaits you. For more information, visit shannons.com.au and access Australia's largest automotive online hub.
An automotive timeline from Chrysler's first beginnings through to later designed and manufactured vehicles that helped to shape the landscape of automobiles to come. This amazing display here at the Expo Centre at Carlisle is thanks to the dedicated team from the Walter P Chrysler Club. A tireless effort of organising and automotive placement to create an enticing atmosphere rarely seen, if ever, in the United States of America. Celebrating 100 years of the Chrysler Corporation is about the people that have attributed to it, the legends along the way, past and present. This 100-year display depicts the quality and professionalism that Carlisle Events is certainly renowned for. This is 100 years of Chrysler at the Carlisle Chrysler Nationals for 2025.
Okay, Fletch, I have a story for you. Right here is a book that our family made years ago, and it's a complete history of Walter P. Chrysler. So here's the family, this is the family house in Ellis, Kansas. They moved there in about 1879, and that's where Chrysler started in the railroad business with his father, Hank, which is right here. I mean, coming around here, here's young Chrysler. He was a very good baseball player. Down here, this is his family, this is his brother, and this is his sister. Now, this is a really great picture. This is when he was in Wellington, Kansas. He worked on the railroad business. When he was working for Alco in Pittsburgh, American Locomotive Company, he bought his first car at a auto show, and it's a locomobile, and he took it apart 7 times. He wanted to know how it worked. Here we have a family picture. He worked for Buick. He was hired for Buick in 1911 by a Mr. Nash, and he brought the production up from 50 cars a day to 600. He was making so much money for General Motors, it was insane. We go down here and we have various pictures of the family on vacations. Here he was at a game pitching because he loved baseball. Over here we have pictures of some Chrysler executives and some of the early cars. Now here is one of his first cars right here, 1924. Let's see, here's his home in Great Neck. Okay, this is a great picture. Look at this. We have Edison, Lipton, Schwab, Ford, Chrysler on the occasion of Sir Thomas Lipton's last visit to the U.S. That's a great picture. Over here we have the building of the Chrysler building. This building is just amazing. He had so much involved in it, picking out, it was the tallest building in the world for 6 months. They had the spire hidden and they brought it out. And then the Empire State Building took over about 6 months after that. This is a picture of Chrysler at the building with Mr. Sweeney, president of the 42nd Street Association. This is really cool. This is Pocatty Lodge. This is in Cambridge, Maryland, and Chrysler spent a lot of time there. Here's a picture of Amelia Earhart. This is Walter P. Chrysler. He led an exposition for the National Zoo in Washington, D.C., and they brought all these different animals back. Here's some family pictures. This is really interesting. We have Ford, Chevrolet, and Plymouth, and Chrysler had this campaign out, Compare All Three. Here's a picture of the Airflow when they were working on that, and these are different magazines that Chrysler was put on the cover of. Now, this is a really interesting picture because Pocatty Lodge, there was a company down there called Phillips Canning. They were the largest company in the world making soup and all. But Chrysler he grew tomatoes, and he had this bet with Mr. Phillips that he could produce more tomatoes than he could. It's called Tomato Justice. Well, Mr. Phillips won out. Chrysler had this great dinner in New York City, and I thought that's amazing. Here's just some other pictures of President Roosevelt, and here's when Chrysler introduced the new Plymouth 6. This is his wife Della, and they had 4 children. This is really great. This is the Walter P. Chrysler. He built these tools, and he built the case. It's just really important to have. It's a part of history that's one of a kind. So I'm very happy to have this as a treasure and take care of it. And once again, we need to keep the Chrysler name going. We needed to keep the Chrysler brand going. That's what my goal is. And we have so many people here at Carlisle that really care about Chrysler, that really care about the brand, and that's what I want to keep pushing, because this history right here needs to be shown and shared with people.
There is always something interesting at the Car Corral. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome a brand new major sponsor to Classic Restos. This beautiful Imperial is for sale. Have a dream car that you've always been looking for? Well, you can now bring that dream car home freighted by Dasmac. Back with more right after this.
When I was a kid, I loved cars, still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Get a quote online or call 134646. Shannons Insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
Your story began in 1971. It's part of an endless tapestry that tells the story of our nation. It connects innovators to artisans, forests to houses, from the largest of operations to the smallest of outcomes. It's heritage. It's a legacy.
Behind me here, we have two of the Chrysler Turbine cars. It's not very often that you get to see both of these cars together on display. Of course, well, you will here in 2025 at Carlisle. These Chryslers were incredibly unique and they could almost run on any type of fuel. To tell us a little bit more, here's David Marioni. Dave, it's wonderful to see you again. Thank you for making the trip all the way from Detroit for the 2025 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals and, of course, celebrating 100 years of the Chrysler Corporation. You've rounded up both of these turbine cars. Very rarely do we get to see one, let alone the chance to see two.
Yeah, Ed and the staff here at Chrysler Carlisle were looking to make kind of a splash, and when we got to talking about the Chrysler car coming, Ed called me and said, you know, what do you think about coming out? And, you know, it takes a lot of work to get museum cars to move, but Ed and the guys put this together for the folks here, so we're happy to have both cars out together. I can't tell you if I've ever seen two of them together.
Talk to us about the fuels, what these things can actually run on.
Well, they're truly a multi-fuel vehicle, so they'll run on J2 jet, kerosene, diesel, regular gas, pretty much anything with a flashpoint.
Amazing. And personally, I know these cars meant a lot to you. You go back a long way with these cars, through the Detroit Historical Society as well. Tell us what they mean to you, Dave.
Well, I was always infatuated with this car. They actually built a model kit of it, which I have one with me today. I built a model as kids. I think I did a book report on the car when I was in school. I was infatuated with them, and then when I became a volunteer with the museum many moons ago, I actually got to get hands-on with it a little bit, so it allows you to do some research. And now that we've got two cars here today, I look forward to kind of getting them together and comparing them.
It's a shame that they never went ahead. The styling in the cars, I'm sure you'll agree, looks so sensational. Off the record with Chrysler, was there any talk of retaining at least the body styling and maybe putting a 383 or a 440 in one of these cars ever?
Because of the coach work in it, so remember, these cars were bodied by Ghia. So these cars were built exclusively outside of Chrysler. The only Chrysler piece on these cars is the knobs on the dash. Everything else was built by Ghia. So it's really kind of unwieldy for Chrysler to put the car together as a production car. Yeah.
Wasn't it amazing times to go out on a limb, so to speak, with virtually prototype cars such as this? Now, how many were made and how many survive today?
They made a total of 55, 5 prototypes and 50 that were part of the consumer loaning program. We have 9 that remain today. 5 of the 9 run and 4 of the 9 drive.
What's the story with these two?
Well, unfortunately mine, because when the cars went to museums, Chrysler disabled them because they didn't want people to use them or drive them. We actually had to sign a waiver in '66 when the car was donated to us that said the car wouldn't be driven and there wouldn't be any attempts made to put the motor back together. The Chrysler car, because they kept 3 for themselves, is actually a runner.
So because they were prototypes and only 55 made, were any ever crushed?
Well, if you really want to hurt your feelings, you can go on the internet and look up turbine car snuff film. And in order to show the government that the cars had been destroyed, there's a video of these cars being taken off a car carrier with an end loader and thrown into the shredder.
How many would have been wrecked?
Well, of the 9 remain, so it's early for math, but 46 of them would have been destroyed.
That's amazing. It's sad, but hey, it's 2025 and the handful we have left, and it's thanks to you and people like yourself that keep this preservation running.
these two incredible cars here at Carlisle for 2025. How remarkable do they look? Look at the styling. Look at the interiors of these cars. We run the camera down the side of the car. We check a side profile, the quality of the interior, the trim work, the leather work, and of course, all these years down the track, Dave, the condition of these vehicles as well is amazing.
Yeah, if you take a slow walk around mine, it suffers from some parking lot rash and some dings and chips. Remember, they were loaner cars. So they gave them to families, and they actually used them as their dailies for a period of time. So the cars have worn a little bit. Mine is completely unrestored. Still wears all original paint. It's still got the turbine tires on it, which are actually pretty rare in the cars anymore. So it was given to us in '66 and has been held in preservation since.
When you say mine,
Colloquially, it belongs to the museum, but they're like kids to me. You know, we've done enough things together where I'm possessive of the cars because I'm their caretaker.
I don't blame you. I just thought for a split second, has Dave bought one of these cars?
I wish I was to Jay Leno's level of collectorship, but my budget keeps me in cars that they're a little bit more pragmatic.
Boy, don't I understand that. We look at the gear design again. I have to make one more comment about the rear styling of these cars. Is that rocket ship or what?
The whole car, if you walk the whole car and look at all the details, it was really the crux of the jet age in the States. So the pods on the dash are circular like a jet. It's got the center console that looks like a turbine. You go out to the tail and it looks like exhaust on it, which is actually all ornamental. But it's just a great piece of jet age styling.
And transmission, Dave, they're running the 727 torque flight, weren't they?
Correct. Yeah, it's a 727 torque flight, but with no torque converter. So because of the lag of the turbine, it didn't need a torque converter, so it splined directly into the output shaft of the turbine.
And what was the top speed back in the day on the proving grounds? What did they get these things up to?
Off the top of my head, and call it a historical guess because I don't have the number in front of me, they didn't perform dramatically different than a 383 or 360, so I would say probably 100, 125. They run at the top ring of the proving ground at Chelsea, and the higher up the ring you go, the faster you go. So they'll run them at the top ring.
That's awesome. Dave, it's always remarkable. What do we say, huh?
Yeah, great to see you.
Love catching up with you, and thanks for being here once again and showing off these two beautiful cars. Well done.
Absolutely. Great to have you and great to be here.
What do we say? With me now, Linda Vaughn. How are you, Linda?
A little bit hot out here. The humidity is taking all the curl out of my hair, but I'm just fine.
Tell us, 1966 was a big year for you, wasn't it?
Goodness gracious, yes. I was so proud to win Miss Hearst Golden Shifter. There was over 200 girls in the contest. Flatship was fabulous. I was a nervous wreck, being from Dalton, Georgia, a little country girl, up against all of these girls. And a lot of Yankees were in it too, and me from the South, but my mother went with me, and we had 3 preliminaries, and we did the first one in Pennsylvania, and then the second one was in Georgia, and then the third one was when they crowned me in Hollywood, California, Mr. Hearst and Mrs. Hearst at the time, and all the wonderful people, the press people, the movie stars, because I treat everybody the same, whether a movie star or a racer. I don't care. I always try to treat people the way I want to be treated. And
from a young lady, it must have been an incredibly exciting opportunity for you.
well, it was because I had been Miss Firebird before, and I wanted to see her more involved in NASCAR. So I went there after I won. I came back to Pennsylvania. I signed a year's contract to see if they'd work with me because I'm a marketing person. I like to sell on race on Sunday, sell on Monday, and NASCAR really needed George Hearst and their shifty doctor. So I put it all together, and we started servicing all the races, race on Sunday, sell on Monday, and that's what we did. And at the end of that first year, he signed a 3-year contract with me.
So over the years, Linda, how many meets do you think you attended?
Well, my first year was 134, so I had no time at home. First, I was single and had the freedom of doing what I wanted to do, but I lived in Georgia, and I decided I better move to California so I could be with all the magazine people and the racers.
Well, Linda, it's been absolutely wonderful, an opportunity to meet you and to take time out. We talk of busy people here this weekend at the 2025 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. Well, this is one person, and
May I add something?
yeah, you can add something.
Chrysler, Mopar, George Hearst and Bob Alexander were great friends, and he was the president of Chrysler. George Hurst built Chrysler their own professional shifter. If you'll look at the slapstick shifter and the pistol grip shifter, that was the most beautiful shifter Hurst ever made just for Chrysler. So this is a very wonderful family-oriented show, and I'm so proud to be here with Ed and Carlisle and to get to meet you in person. So nice.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure, Linda. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all very much. Shift my gears now, you hear?
Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club, Kenworth Trucks Australia, Pace Farm Eggs, and Dasmac, shipping your classic car from the world to your doorstep.